Life becomes what you create. Silence builds a stronger state. You observe, release, let go of what you can't control, you know. When you open a trade, you rise so high like a god who owns the sky. The world's beneath your steady hands. A life you shape the way you plan. Today's your day, don't be afraid. Click with faith, the move is made. Buy or sell, it's all the same. Balance dancing in the game. Turn emotions into gold. Future stories to be told. From this moment, here you stand. Trading years at your command. Strong in silence, clear in mind. Every loss a gift you'll find. Step by step, your power grows. The market speaks, the trader knows. Today's your day, the crown is yours. Open wide the trading doors. Every chart becomes your stage. Write your story, turn the page. Turn emotions into gold. Legends crafted, brave and bold. From this moment, here you stand. Trading years at your command. Today's the day, you know it's true. The moment of power belongs to you. You chose a path, a higher lane where satisfaction breaks the chain. When you open a trade, you rise so high like a god who owns the sky. The world's beneath your steady hands. A life you shape the way you plan. Today's your day, don't be afraid. Click with faith, the move is made. Buy or sell, it's all the same. Balance dancing in the game. Turn emotions into gold. Future stories to be told. From this moment, here you stand. Trading years at your command. Life becomes what you create. Silence builds a stronger state. You observe, release, let go of what you can't control, you know. When you open a trade, you rise so high like a god who owns the sky. The world's beneath your steady hands. A life you shape the way you plan. Today's your day, don't be afraid. Click with faith, the move is made. Buy or sell, it's all the same. Balance dancing in the game. Turn emotions into gold. Future stories to be told. From this moment, here you stand. Trading years at your command. Strong in silence, clear in mind. Every loss a gift you'll find. Step by step, your power grows. The market speaks, the trader knows. Today's your day, the crown is yours. Open wide the trading doors. Every chart becomes your stage. Write your story, turn the page. Turn emotions into gold. Legends crafted, brave and bold. From this moment, here you stand. Trading years at your command.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we also have image. Yeah, you know what? I was busy putting up the Christmas tree. Okay, so let's see what we have here today. Very bullish indeed. Yesterday, let's see what occurred yesterday. So yesterday we had gold taking out the sell side. I was expecting it to move to take out Tuesday's low at least before starting to go up after the high impact news. the FOMC yesterday. Because, you know, yesterday I had two potential scenarios where scenario number one was that before the news, price was going to take out sell side. I thought, or I was thinking about Tuesday low, but it just took out local sell side liquidity that it created yesterday. So it took out New York low and London low. So it still took out sell side liquidity. It also took out New York kill zone low, New York AM session low from Tuesday. So all that sell side liquidity was cleared. And then price actually started to move higher. Or the other scenario that I had in mind was that price, so pre-news price would take sell side and then the news would send it up, or the other way around, the news would send it up and then it would actually start dropping heavily. The bottom line was that the news was going to, or the first impact after the news was going to propel price higher, because like I said yesterday, cutting rates on the US dollar is always positive for gold. What ended up happening was a lot of whipsawing. A lot of whipsawing. I was actually expecting, you can see here that I had that marked on my chart, the high of the London kill zone from yesterday to be taken. That was in my head drawn liquidity for the move up after the news, and then I was expecting a drop. I actually did get that with a nice bearish FVG being created here on the 2:20 p.m. 5-minute candle, and then we had price pushing up into that and then rejecting. I did take that, and then later on price did something completely unexpected, which is it completely went the opposite way. And I really was not expecting that, to be honest with you. Now, what we have at the current moment is, or what I'd like to see it do right now, honestly, even though I'm not really sure I'm going to get this because that would be like a perfect scenario. I'd like, you know, silver to go up and take out Asia session high. And I'd like gold to stay stuck inside this bearish unicorn here on the 5 minutes. And then reject from here. We'll see if we can get this. So we have the bullish FVG on the 935 candle on the 5 minutes, and then inversed by and overlapping with 945 bearish FVG. So that's a perfect balanced price range. If we could actually keep price inside of this BPR while silver would start moving up and take out the high of the Asia session and then reject from there, that would be great. As a like higher time frame level from where price could be returning, like reason why gold would not want to go any further to the upside from a higher time frame perspective. Rejection block here from Friday high on the 1 hour, and also rejection block here from, what's that, Asia session high on the 1 hour, plus the 75% level on the daily fib. Let me zoom in on the daily and show you. It's basically the price range that we've been playing inside from December 1st high till December 2nd low, to all this garbage of a price action, which eventually it did end up being quite nice, but we'll see. We will see if we can get that. And if not, I'm probably going to wait for price to take out Asia high, and who knows, maybe even Friday high it's probably headed towards there, maybe even last Monday's high. The bottom line is that it's definitely headed for buy side liquidity. But at the same time, it can also stop going further to the upside over here, because it's not really necessary for price to break all those highs on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, on the 6 hour, and the daily. Now, if we're looking at the on the 15 minutes chart, well, basically on any other time frame, we can see clean lows over here, relatively equal lows, 1 a.m. candle, 1 a.m. swing low, and 8:15. At the same time, I can also see a clear SMT divergence over here, where we had gold creating relatively equal highs, I would say, rather, and silver is definitely displaying clear higher highs, which basically this is a type of divergence that not a lot of people understand. It's when the traded pair creates what we call a classic support, where we have equal lows being created, and then the indicator pair, in this case silver, creates a higher low, which basically signals the same thing that the support here signals, which is strength. So this is the only SMT divergence where both pairs are aligned in regards to strength or weakness, as opposed to normal classic SMT divergences where you would have, for example, gold showing weakness. Why? Because it would create a lower low, whereas silver, for example, would create a higher low, so it would indicate strength. In here, in this type of divergence where one creates equal lows, that's a sign of strength. Why? Because it signals actual support, and the other one creates higher low, which again, it's a sign of strength. So might actually see start moving higher. Withdrawn liquidity, like I said, possibly being Asia high, and then Friday high, and ultimately last Monday's high. Also, let's not forget the fact that today is Thursday, which is the weekly fourth quarter, with Monday being Q1, Tuesday being Q2, Wednesday being Q3, and Thursday being Q4. What that basically means, and as we can also see here, if we're gonna take a look at the whole price action from this week, we're going to see that the weekly profile was AMDX, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and today Q4 Thursday, we're either looking at continuation or reversal, or the beauty of Q4 is that you can actually get both. So what I mean by this, well, if we're going to look at Monday price action, we're going to see that we had the whole day being sort of like in, you know, a range in itself. So we had buy side being created at Monday high and sell side at Monday low. Okay, so that was the accumulation where we have buy side above the high and we have sell side under the low. Next, we have Tuesday, which Tuesday is Q2, usually the manipulation. Whenever you have Q1 being accumulation, always Q2 is going to be manipulation. So we've seen price London, especially like, or oh, not really London, but more like Asia, manipulating to the downside, taking the sell side under the accumulation day, which was Monday, and then moving up, breaking the high of Monday, which basically confirms that the buy side, the sell side that was swept under the accumulation day is right now being used to pair with smart money long orders. Why? Because we're also breaking the high of the accumulation. So that was M, manipulation. Then we had Wednesday being distribution phase. In here, distribution phase can actually be quite tricky sometimes, because you're either going to see it really distributing to the upside, okay, if the manipulation took place to the downside, and then you see a break of structure to the upside, which we did see in here because Monday high was eventually broken to the upside. So in this case, the distribution phase can be tricky sometimes, because you could be expecting for that whole price action, for that entire day's price action to be bullish, but sometimes it can actually be bearish, where it means that it's distributing the long orders. Distributing the long orders can sometimes look as a fake or, you know, short-term sell, only to then unfold the actual move to the upside, which is exactly what occurred. And yesterday's FOMC was great to unfold that. And then usually Q4, whenever you have this profile AMD, usually Q4 is going to be either, like I said, continuation to the upside, and that usually means that you're going to see price in the first part of the day retracing, for example, to a bullish fair value gap, like we have seen here, London being bearish, and then price starts to continue moving higher, because the only reason why it was going lower in the first place was just to rebalance a bullish fair value gap, and then to continue to move higher, which is exactly what it's doing right now. So we could be looking at today being X, as in continuation higher, and at the same time the PM session could act as a means of reversing, because like I said, Q4 can either be continuation or reversal. The reason why I'm saying that we could have both things, especially today, is because we have we are quite not that far away from old highs. Not necessarily mentioning Asia high here, but more importantly, Friday high, which is, you know, right around the corner. And then we have Monday high, last Monday's high, which is the high of the previous week. So judging by the fact that buy side liquidity in the form of old highs is, like I said, right around the corner, we know that reversal happens after price takes out liquidity and then it starts to move in the opposite direction. So if we would assume that the first part of today is basically continuation to the upside, we could have a scenario in which the second part of the day could actually be a reversal if price manages to go above an old high, which in this case, Friday high being the closest. and then Monday, last Monday's high being second closest. But you know, really close to us right now is Asia session high right here. Also, don't forget that there are, you know, how should I say, like multiple profiles within a bigger profile. So we have the weekly profile, which is Monday Q1, Tuesday Q2, Wednesday Q3, and then Friday, Thursday Q4. Then we also have for each day, we have Asia being Q1, London being Q2, New York AM session being Q3, and then New York PM session being Q4. So for example, right now we are in the daily third quarter, which started at 6 a.m. It's going to end at 12 p.m., which is the third daily quarter, 6-hour quarter. And judging by the looks of it, I'd say again, it was a AMDX again, where we had, no, actually XAMD, where we had Q1, which is Asia, reversing. Then we had London accumulating. And right now, we're going to see if this is a manipulation or not. Because normally you want to trade the distribution phase. It's either going to be Q3 or Q4. I'm going to write that in here. So Thursday, XAMD, okay? And we can also see these clean swing lows in here, which could act as a drawn liquidity later on. If this profile will eventually be, like I said, XAMD, which we had Asia reversing from, you know, reversing in the opposite direction from the previous quarter, which was definitely bullish. And we had Asia reversing. Then we had London accumulating, very clear accumulation here on London. And right now, if this is manipulation, then we should see some sort of a confirmation that this is a manipulation to the upside, which would look in the form of price seeking sell side liquidity. You know, what's funny part is that yesterday I watched the FOMC on a futures account, and the futures contract on gold actually went like the news candle, which was 2 p.m. went down and then up and then down again and then went up again. Bottom line is that this 2 p.m. candle here had a huge wick to the downside, as opposed to what we see here on TradingView with this particular broker, FXCM. I'm curious if forex.com shows a different type of candle. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It's the same. Here, see, the 2 p.m. candle doesn't really have a wick at the bottom. Huge one. So silver's trading inside uncharted territory, and it kept on breaking previous highs with huge imbalance, you know, closing above highs with bullish FVG and then continuing to push higher. And I'm talking from a higher time frame perspective. I'm curious to see if it's going to behave the same right now. Yeah, so you're reclaiming that 5-minute BISI on the 5-minute chart was an indication that price is probably going to go higher, at least create a new high, you know, compared to this last high at 945. But I wouldn't have known where to put my stop loss, to be honest with you, because at least not based on the 5 minutes. And on the 1 minute, didn't really have like a clear bullish order block being created here once price rejected from that reclaimed M5 BISI. Alex, is it true that on futures you have to close all your trades before midnight? Yeah, it's true if you're trading you know, if you're trading prop for money. There's a guy here. I wish I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. You're holding position, long position, from the 1 hour order block. Now you're holding short position. I'm assuming you closed your long. I'm in short position on H1 order block on love high. Maybe London, I don't know what you mean. Maybe you meant, I don't know, London high? I don't know what you meant. Sorry. Wow, what a push. What would be the ideal situation for short now? First of all, you got to understand that if you want to short right now, it's absolutely the worst idea. The reason for this is because you always have to wait for an indication that price is readying to go short. And all the time, that first indication is going to look as a first move, sharp move to the downside that you won't be able to participate in. Obviously, you can participate if you're looking at, I don't know, 1 minute, but that 1 minute setup wouldn't have much of a chance of being like a long range move. So the best scenario for this would be right now to just start looking at the bigger time frames. Like if we're looking on the daily chart here, we're gonna see that silver has long time broken above the high here of October, which is this area here on gold. And by the way, again, this is a daily chart. So we have gold really failing behind to, you know, break on that October high, whereas silver has went above there since like 2 weeks ago. What was gold doing 2 weeks ago? Gold was consolidating here, you know. So imagine this whole price action that is stuck within this range here for the past 2 weeks with gold is this whole heavily bullish price action on silver over here. So the fact that it's that heavily bullish, I'm talking here about silver, indicates the fact that gold long term could also be bullish. Obviously, that doesn't mean that we can't look for short opportunities on a short-term basis. However, you always have to consider intraday trading when it comes to short setups. And base case scenario at this point would be, first, I wouldn't go short until an old high would be taken out, which in this case, yeah, I'd probably wait for Friday high to be taken out, okay, which is again right around the corner, 42.59. So we're just like 40 50 bips away from taking out that high. I'd first wait for that to happen. Then I'd wait for, so let's say that would be this high, okay? Then I wait for some sort of rejection with a firm and clear and fast close back under the level that it just broke. So if this would be Friday high, then I would wait for at least a 5 minute to show me a clean and clear close back under that level. At the same time, I would like to see that move that goes down and closes back under the level that it just broke above. I would like that to show clear bearish fair value gap. Okay. And preferably the candles the candles that would form should look like this. So imagine, hold on. Imagine price just broke above there, and right now it's starting to move down, okay? I would not want to see candles that would start to be big from the beginning. Like I wouldn't want a first huge bearish candle and then a second huge bearish candle, but then the more bearish candles would print, the more their size would shrink, would decrease. So in other words, I wouldn't want to see something like here. You see, I don't want to see big candle, then medium candle, then smaller candle. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see decreasing momentum when it comes to candle bodies. I'd like to see like a medium-sized candle, maybe even small-sized candle, okay, bearish. And then another one potentially increasing in size, and then maybe a little one, and then I want to see candles increasing in size to the downside. So I want to see bigger and bigger candles and not start with big candle and then increase their size. So that's first thing that I would want to see is bearish FVG that would form on a price move that starts with small candles, then bigger candles, then bigger candles, okay? At the same time, I would want to see the most obvious fair value gap, SIBI, on there. I would want to see that being respected and rejecting from. And as gold would create a lower high in here because it would be stuck inside the previously created SIBI that was created on a bearish price leg that started forming with smaller candles first and then bigger and bigger candles. At the same time, I wouldn't want to see silver create a lower high as well. I want to see silver create a higher high and then reject. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I want to see weakness on the side of gold. And we can't have weakness on the side of gold. This gold is going to be the one creating the higher high. Base case scenario to look for weakness is for the pair to create a lower high. A failure swing high, how you hear ICD call it all the time. But like I said, I wouldn't really consider that unless we would take at least Friday high. Because if we're not taking our Friday high, but price would right now start to move down, I would only consider it a pullback, maybe to the 50% level of this last bullish price leg. And always, always, always keep in mind that if price levels, obvious price levels, and I'm not only talking about price levels, but more like price and time levels. Like, for example, if we have the highest high of a session, highest high of a kill zone, the highest high of a day, the highest high of a week, okay? That is a price and time swing high. So if you have that kind of swing high that is being broken, and it's being broken with bullish fair value gap, with an overlapping fair value gap, like we see silver here, like we've seen gold here, for example. This is Asia high, and look at how gold broke above Asia high with an overlapping BISI. Okay, that's a clear indication that the buy side liquidity that is being absorbed from above that high that it's breaking, it's not used to pair it with smart money short orders, especially if your next candle will also continue to push higher. And obviously you still need to wait, like besides this candle, that's the one breaking above the high, you still need to wait for one more candle to know exactly whether this candle will form a BISI on its own body, okay? So you would still have to wait for another candle to form. If that candle's body is going to be too big, and even more than that, you won't, for example, have like a pullback, tough luck, okay? Tough luck. The best way for you guys to see the difference between a run on liquidity and a sweep of liquidity is to just look on the higher time frames and see what reaction price has once it breaks above a high or under a low. Like for example, we have silver here. That was the all-time high, right? At one point it was the all-time high. Look at how it broke above that high, and we're on the daily chart. Okay, so you have continuous bullish candles that, guess what? If I'll zoom in on these candles here, what do you see in regards to the size of their body? It's increasing. You have a, you know, medium-sized candle, then you have a small body candle, then you have a bigger body candle, then you have like a doji, and then you have a huge body candle. So we see candle bodies increasing in size, closing above an old high with bullish FVG. That can only mean that this is a run on liquidity. Run on liquidity means the trend is bullish. That's the only thing that it means. The trend is bullish. Like for example, if we're going to apply this here on the 5 minutes, okay? We've had all this range being created here with lots of sell side, especially under here. Then we had pre-New York open going to the downside, sweeping all that sell side, and then price breaks above that high, but that's not that important. But the more important one is this high, okay? Now, if we're going to take a look at what price is doing, how is it breaking above this high over here? And I know you're going to say that the first break above this high was this one, but it was actually not that one, okay? Because a break above a high means break and close above a high. And then we had a small pullback, and then look at this BISI being created here. That's an indication that the liquidity above here is being absorbed and used as market fuel, okay? And then it continues to move further to the upside, also managing to close above that high. And then we have a pullback, and then price just rebalanced that BISI, and then it started to run higher. Okay, then we have the high of the Asia session over here, and we have again bullish FVG on that candle. So price closes above price levels, above old highs with BISI. That can only mean one thing, and usually it's that it's a run on liquidity. But obviously you have to wait for that to be confirmed as a first run on liquidity. Like for example, what I mean in here is that you will not always be able to take this move to the upside here. This move, you see? And neither should you want, neither should you really aspire to take that move, okay? Because you first have to wait for a clear and clean intention of price tipping its hand in regards to the direction that it's about to go. It's like it's disclosing its intention, and you have to wait for that first thing to occur. Also, if you're going to trade against the higher time frame order flow, I would definitely suggest to stay away from the 1 minute time frame. Stay away from the 1 minute time frame unless you're going to use like very small risk. I always say, if you're trading counter trend trade setups and you're doing it on any time frame, especially on the 1 minute, you have to drastically reduce your risk. We're going to take a look on the 1 minute right now. You're going to see increasing body of the candles, increasing bodies. But like I said, I wouldn't be so confident in a 1 minute short against such a big bullish move. See guys, including on the 15 minutes, price is closing above the last high with bullish FVG. I'm talking right now about the high of the Asia session, not yet talking about Friday's high because that hasn't happened yet. We still haven't closed above that level on, not even on the 5 minutes. What's weird is that if this could be the beginning of a bearish setup, because I can clearly see bearish candles forming with increasing momentum and bearish FVGs forming at the same time. However, what is weird is the fact that the bearish FVGs, after they are rebalanced, the reaction coming from, like for example, this 1056, we had a first reaction from that FVG which did not create a lower low, and then we had a second reaction from that FVG which again did not create a lower low, at least not yet. And if it's going to create a lower low, it's just going to enter the realm of a 50-minute BISI. And it doesn't really make it that attractive to short, you know? Plus, if you're gonna plot your fib on the last leg, you'll see that we're just rejecting from 50%. We could reject from this SIBI and come down to the 75%. But it doesn't mean that that's going to be like a complete reversal. You know, it could just do this and then continue to push higher, or it might not come down to the 75% level at all. Okay, guys, I'm trying out some longs here. $42, $56, $26. $42, $53, $15 my SL. 53.15. Okay. Risk is not that big. 30 pips. That's quite manageable. 31. And I'm particularly interested in price moving above and closing above 1105. So if you're looking to short, stay away from 1 minute. If you're looking to take the entry in the same direction as the overall higher time frame momentum or whatever you want to call it, 1 minute is okay because it can allow you to have smaller risk. Yeah, you see, I wanted to close above that swing high, not reject from there. So my stop loss at this point is under the low of this candle, the 1112 candle. First, because it's a fractal candle, which for whoever was not in my live stream yesterday or 2 days ago, can't remember exactly when I said about it. A fractal candle is a candle that has a different color on both correlated pairs. Like for example, this candle 1112 was a bullish candle on gold, but it seemed to have had a bearish candle here on silver. A bearish body, sorry. The candle has a bearish candle. Also, because it created a bullish fair value gap. Also, that bullish fair value gap invalidated the bearish FVG that was created here as a rejection from the other bearish FVG. So we had 1056 bearish FVG, and then a reaction from there was creating another bearish FVG, 1106. And then we had 1112 invalidating that SIBI, and we had a nice rejection, and right now staying above it. I'm gonna move stop loss at break even right now. And I hope that this bearish SMT won't eat my profit. Because it's the exact type of bearish I said bearish FVG, bearish SMT, because it's the exact type of bearish SMT I said I would like to see in order to consider potential shorts, but I wouldn't want to see it on the 1 minute. So yeah, we had price move above the last Friday's high, which is this high over here. And right now we have rejection with candles that had increasing momentum in the size of their bodies. And we also have this SMT divergence. Only thing that doesn't really convince me is the fact that here to the left side, we've invalidated all the bearish FVGs that gold created. And I'm not a firm believer in 1 minute rejection blocks, because this is the only thing that could make gold right now move to the downside, this and not create a higher high. Come on, pop. Yeah. If it breaks this low, I'm going to take partial. It's not going to be a lot of, juice left out of my position, but I'm going to take some partial. If I'll still have the chance. If not, it is what it is. Stopped out at break even, guys. Let's see if it's in vain or not. I'm curious to see if this 5-minute BC will hold here. Because for now, it sort of like seems to be invalidated. So stop that break even here. So guys, look who's here. Okay, take it. Yeah, so apparently it just took me out. That's it, huh? This is where I had my entry. We'll see. Because for now, this 5-minute BC looks uncertain. We do have kind of like a bullish order block being created here. I like to see price create a BC to really deem that as an order block. Yeah, what do you do with your cat when you want to unteach her to stay on the kitchen table? Like, yeah, it's definitely gonna pop higher. In a very pretty way, actually. But it is what it is. I'll call it a break-even day. If you guys want to call it a W, be my guest. But I'm not, because just like yesterday, I did not take any partial. Probably a re-entry would make sense here. But not sure if. Okay, let's see if we get a rejection from here. So I'm not in this yet, okay? Okay, let's try this out. Again, See if this time is working. See, silver right now is doing the right thing, which is continuing with the bullish candle after it rejected with another bullish candle from a BISI. Gold, on the other hand, is being a pain in the butt for now because the body of this current candle is bearish. But as soon as it flips bullish, it should break above previous candle's high and stay above it. Okay, so my risk to reward ratio right now is a lot smaller than previous trade, obviously, but we'll see if we can actually get it to pop. Stop loss right now is a little bit under the midpoint of this bullish order block. And if you move on to the 5-minute, you'll see it sort of like coincides with the open of the M5 bullish candle that created the last BISI, which is the 11:15 candle. A lot of waiting going on. And we're in micro Q4 of the 90-minute Q4 of the 6-hour Q3 of the day of the weekly Q4 because today is Thursday. I'm assuming that within the next 15-minute. Ooh, okay, gold is popping. I'm assuming within the next 15-minute we would probably see gold reverse. Okay, I've taken 9% off. And I'm moving stop loss to break even. I don't have any set take profit, but I'm honestly, I would expect for gold to go above the December 1st high, 4264.50. I don't know, by about 30 pips or so. And then start to move down. Or not go above that high at all. If it did that on the futures. Let's see, top step. Let's see if it did that. Futures here. No, it did not. It did not. It did not. It didn't pop above December 1st high on futures either. It's actually quite far away from there, honestly. It's a lot farther away on futures than it is here on Forex. It's 76 handles away. on futures, and it's 15 pips. Like 76 handles, it's like 76 pips. Yeah, it's popping. Okay, we can call this a W. We're gonna call it a W, guys. I'll be honest with you, I'm not comfortable at all taking long trades when the price is that high, close, and that high and that close to an old high. Because a lot of times it can happen that the high you're aiming for, it's just not going for it. A lot of times it happens that. Or maybe the broker you're looking at is failing to go above that high that you're looking at. And so, you know, a lot of variables here when you're trading Forex. But yeah, this trade was overall quite okay. Another thing I would like for you guys to notice is the fact that this miner, ooh, look at it. Okay, let's see, 30 pips above this high would be around 42.6750. Quite around here. I still have a 10% runner. Still have a 10% runner on this. Which, oh my God. This thing's really going up. 42.74 is what my boyfriend is saying. 42.73.90 something. 96. Yeah, we can call that 42.74. Yep, we got 42.74 and going higher. Oh my God. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take the whole partial out. Not a bad day. Not a bad day with such a weird setup. And this goes to show that you can actually make money without assuming that you've lost the whole move, that you've missed out on the opportunity or something like that. So even though it's not a lot of money being made here on this trade, it is a massive, massive win. First of all, oh my God, just you guys. This is what we are facing. Okay, we have to cope with this. Us, as traders, we have to cope with this. See? Yeah. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed today. Today's live stream. Banger trade. Yeah, WW. Make sure to... Oh, by the way, tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, I don't think we're going to... Oh, look at it. Look at it not being able to close above that 42.74 level. I wonder if we're gonna reverse from here. That would be quite amazing. So I don't think we're gonna have a live stream tomorrow. I don't think I will be able to trade tomorrow because I'm doing some family business, some family stuff, Christmas related. But and Monday is gonna be a no live stream day. But I'll see what we can arrange for Tuesday, because to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of trading December. Not a big fan of trading December at all. Oh my God, just move. But I'll see. I'll see if I can actually continue live streaming for the next week. And if not, I'll let you guys know. Maybe I'll do just like a last live stream of the year sometime next week. But again, thanks for being here. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to hit the like button and share it with someone that you think is going to learn to be patient from this live stream. And I'll talk to you guys whenever it's going to be the next live stream, which I don't know when. So bye.